The following episode is brought to you by Whipster. Whipster team accounts aren't just a place to manage review and approvals. They're a project management, archiving, and internal communication tool as well. Learn how your video team can work better together at Whipster.com.
You're listening to Filmmakers Drinking Bourbon. Hey, what's up, Internet? This is Brandon.
And this is Alex.
Hey, it's good to have you back, buddy.
Yo.
And we're filmmakers.
And we're also drinking bourbon.
Yes, we are.
Cheers.
Tasty.
God, it feels good to be back.
Yeah, it does. Another batch from the FDB barrel.
Ooh.
And it's just
Nothing in that barrel's bad.
nothing.
Nothing's bad.
Whatever's
Sweet.
in that barrel
You
is
know it's
always good.
You know it's good.
So, glad to have you back, buddy.
I know. It's glad to be back. Feels good.
Last week, it was just me and Adam.
How'd it
Adam
go?
stepped in. We talked audio. We talked scoring, music, stuff like that.
Sweet.
You should check it out.
I do. So I wasn't part of the show, but I was part of our Slack meetup.
You were, yeah. So let's talk about that for a second. I think me and you both are sharing that as like what we're excited about.
Yeah.
There's some pretty cool stuff happening. So we started a Slack group for FDB Podcast. If you're interested, go to fdbpodcast.com, click on social, or click any of the Slack banners,
Yeah, you'll
and
see a
you will
link.
find a way to request an invite.
Invite only.
Because we want to make sure that the people in this community are actual working filmmakers. Now, there's no stipulations on how good you have to be.
Not at all.
As long
You just
as
have
you
to be active.
Yeah, if you're a real filmmaker
Yeah.
that has a reel and is doing stuff, we'll invite you to the group.
Absolutely.
So-
we had some great discussions.
It was pretty awesome.
I thought it was
Yeah.
great. I was on set. I was wrapping up production, but
Yep.
I was still able to get on my phone and talk to everybody.
Yeah, so you guys you started a conversation in the cinematography room, I believe, right?
There were a few going on. I was kind of bouncing around.
So this is the kind of stuff you're going to see. So one of the things that was thrown out was Leo Delon said, "What do you guys think of cinematography in Soaked in Bleach?" Personally, I think it's one of the most well-done documentaries ever seen. To which other people just started chiming in, and meanwhile, at the same time, Josh Emerson and Shot by Esso were talking about the C100 and the
just
C-Log.
exposing for log, yeah.
Yeah, it was great. There was a lot going on, so it's a lot of fun. And I think that was really what we ended up doing.
Yeah.
Was we said to the people in the Slack group, we're about 40 members in the group, and we said, hey, because everybody's on set and they're moving around and they're working, let's try to do a meetup, a Slack digital online meetup where
once a week.
Here's this time when everybody's going to show up. So this last week we said 2 p.m. on Friday. Everybody try to be online and we'll talk for an hour. And sure enough, there was at least
it went
10
for over an hour.
to 15 people who showed up and great conversations going on. And so we're going to continue to do that. We're going to do it again this Friday, 2 p.m. If you can be online, be online.
Early happy hour.
And if you want to jump in on that conversation, go to fdbpodcast.com, request a Slack invite. Really exciting stuff.
It is exciting. You know what else is exciting?
What's that?
I've got a little bit of a guest for us.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of our
Yeah, we
buddies.
do. Yeah. And he probably, is he on the Slack group? Because he needs to be.
I don't think he is, but we're going to get him on. We're going to talk to him about it.
All right.
But what I want you to do
Well, we got to dial him in.
is dial him in.
All right.
That's what I want you to do.
Let's see what we got here.
Work your magic.
It's like a mystery guest today.
It is.
All right. Boop, 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 boop. You there?
Clifton.
Hello, hey.
Hey.
What's up, man?
It's been a while.
It has been a minute. Glad to hear from you guys.
Yeah.
First of all, why don't you tell everybody who you are?
I am Clifton Stommel, the cinematographer and owner of Stommel House in Indianapolis, Indiana, and the creator of the Attic C2S.
Wow, is it that's that newfangled thing that does something great for the Blackmagic, right?
That is precisely what it does. I appreciate it. Did you take that verbiage right off from my site? That sounds like our dialogue. Yeah,
It's on the bus.
So, just for
yeah, it is the. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was
explain it.
I was just gonna before you explain, I was just gonna give people context that we we really got to know you well and hang out with you and your wonderful wife at NAB. So that's kind of how we got the strong connection. So with that said, tell everybody about this magic box, this magic thing you have.
So the Attic C2S is a real-time memory interface bridge between CFast and SSD drives. So basically, you use this product on your Blackmagic Ursa or Ursa Mini, 4K or 4.6K, to shoot all of that delicious, great, high-quality, raw internal codec footage directly to SSDs externally instead of dealing with CFast cards at all.
And what is the benefit of that? Like, what prompted you to come up with this?
Well, the initial prompt was strictly a cost-effective prompt. So the CFast cards first came out, well, no, not first came out, but when the Ursa Mini was launched, CFast cards were around $600 a card for a 256 gig.
Whoa.
Those were the Lexar 3400Xs. And we're looking at SSDs like a 256 gig SSD, even the best ones you can get, the SanDisk Extreme Pro or the Samsung 8050 Pros, they're like $100 a piece.
It's quite a cost
that
saving.
Difference in price, huge. So we basically made it so that we could let people move, stick to the SSDs they may have already had from their production camera 4K or their Blackmagic Cinema Camera Classic, and use those in their Ursa Mini. And once we started getting it in people's hands and people started using it to shoot and stuff, pretty quickly the added benefit of being able to put in larger drives, 500 gigs, 1 terabyte, even 2 terabytes in each bay, it really reduces on the amount of time it takes on set to be swapping out cards, backing up footage. Basically, you've got your entire stuff shot onto straight to an SSD in the middle of the day. When you're done shooting, you drop it into a drive cloner, clone the whole day's footage over, and you're done. So there's a standard SATA interface on an SSD. You don't have to mess around with like a card reader to dump footage.
Wow. That seems like an added benefit.
It really became a time-saving tool and then a post-production workflow tool that we weren't expecting when we initially created the product, but we're glad to see that it's working out so well. And at this point, there's already been at least one feature film shot on our product through the Ursa Mini 4.6K, and we couldn't be happier about that.
That is awesome. Now, is it how does one go about making, like, you're just like, oh, let's just make this thing that's electronic and probably sophisticated? Like, do you just call China and
or do you have a background?
Say help, or how do you
engineering?
No, I don't have an official background in engineering. My mother owned a computer consulting company when I was growing up, so from when I was very, very little, my mom would say, "Oh, Clifton, can you help me seat this RAM in the computer here? Help me build these machines for my client." I didn't, I was a little kid, so I didn't realize she was really grooming me to be a tech geek. But I accidentally learned how to do all the physical stuff involved in a computer and do all the troubleshooting, understanding hardware and the way it works together. And since forever, I've been building on my own desktop computers, and once I got into photography, I've been modifying cameras for a long time. To shoot digital infrared or, things like the Magic Lantern hack to modify the way that Canon DSLRs work and record video.
Yeah.
So I was really very comfortable working with the hardware and the software of all the camera systems already because it's, effectively a computer attached to a sensor. And, when the time came for this product, I was like, surely there's a way around this because I know that, memory cards are effectively shrunk down SSDs anyway with a different interface. And there's got to be a way to bridge this. So I just hunkered down, took about a month off of all my client projects and work, and basically was like, the day that I had this big, crazy wired system that made me able to shoot from the full-size Ursa on an SSD, and it registered, formatted, and recorded, I went, oop, time to make a Kickstarter.
Got something. Yeah. So for some people, that may sound like the whole thing may sound a little complicated. Is it complicated? Is it a crazy user interface? Do you have to do a lot of modding yourself?
Yeah.
Or is it just kind of a bolt-on, strap in, and start shooting things?
Yeah. How does it work? Do you plug it into the camera? Does it use like infrared gravitational pull?
Not quite that complex.
Body.
It's for the end user, we really made it as simple as we possibly can, and as small a power draw from your camera's battery as possible too. So effectively, what you receive is a box with cables coming out of it, and a couple of dummy CFast cards on the end of those cables. You plug those into your camera the same way you would CFast cards. Plug your SSDs into the box. It only has one big button switch. Once you've hooked up the box to your battery plate or battery via the D-tap, you literally just hit a switch, the SSDs power on, the camera recognizes the SSDs, it thinks they're CFast cards, and 100% of what you do with the product is actually managed through the camera's interface exactly the same as CFast cards.
So you're tricking the camera. You're basically using the CFast dummy card as a vehicle to transfer the information, and it's really just going through the cable into the hard drive.
Effectively, yeah.
Wow. So my question is, what does Blackmagic think?
Yeah, this seems like somebody should be pissed off at this point.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. A lot of people have said either, how has Blackmagic not sued you or bought this from you yet?
Exactly.
But, so from what I can tell, CFast appears to be pretty open. It looks like it was used for industrial machineries and stuff back when it was a CFast 1.0 speed, before it was totally revamped and redesigned for cinema camera use. So I don't think that the CFast interface belongs to Blackmagic for certain, or if it's just kind of like a, it's like SATA. Everyone is allowed to use SATA. There's no weird, licensing issue. Like if you have a camera that shoots ProRes, I believe you have to work with Apple to have a license to do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the Airy Mini uses CFast cards, and there are a few other cameras that do as well.
Yeah, and so does your product work with other cameras?
Well, as of right now, the way that the Canon C200 Mark II and the AJ Scion register their CFast cards is totally different from the way that the RE and the Blackmagic cameras register them. So it doesn't work on either of those cameras. And on the RE, when you plug it in, the RE camera will actually read the exact model number and the size of the SSD you have plugged in. So like it'll say on your RE screen, Samsung 1 terabyte 50 Pro, but RE has an approved, and they just have an approved list of CFast cards and model numbers that they will allow the camera to record on. And since I'm assuming, weren't expecting SSDs to ever enter the equation, there are no SSD model numbers in their approved list on their firmware, so it just locks out the record button.
Gotcha.
So we brought our development to RE's door, and we just now need RE to work with us to, basically prove that the system is in fact stable enough to work on your camera.
Very cool.
Wow. So it sounds like maybe some of those conversations are already happening.
Some of this conversation is already happening.
Nice.
Congrats.
So it could be at maybe next year's NAB or whatnot. There could be a new release of some sort.
It's a possibility, but I don't want to obviously put any words in Ari's mouth here. I want to make sure that I'm respecting their.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a saying we have that's called "jumping the shack." You don't want to jump the shack
right.
on that.
Definitely not trying to jump the shack
or the shark.
So
jump a shark with a shark.
Yeah. So for the time being, we're really hammering on being a Blackmagic support product, and specifically designed for the the Ursa and the Ursa Mini cameras. And thus far, we've talked a lot with Blackmagic, and they seem to be very happy with it. We had a chance to talk to their guys at NAB. They've seen it in action, they've seen it working, and I think that Stommelhaus and Blackmagic have a strong relationship developing so far. So.
Wow,
nice.
What about this this feature? Did you get any feedback from the people that used it on it about reliability, about extended recording times?
They never had to cut; they just kept rolling.
How did that go?
Right. So the feedback we've received so far on the attic variation of the product has been pretty glowing across the board. The version we made originally for the Kickstarter wasn't quite as robust and foolproof. So when we rebranded the product and added some new features based on the initial customer feedback we got, that's when we moved all of our power regulation internally, so it can take 12 to 24 volts. Realistically, it takes to 40 volts, but it'll take the official verbiage says 12 to 24. And it's got the power, the LED verified power switch. and it supports up to 2 terabytes per bay, which realistically is only because that's the biggest SSDs you can get right now. I'm pretty sure it'll take 4 terabytes once they're launched. We'll need to see what the amperage requirements are before we make an official announcement about that. But yeah, so the guy who shot a feature film called Flesh and Blood on this on the Attic C2S and Anderson 4.6K, their producer was talking to us and said, "Man, we were shooting, 1 to 2 terabytes of footage every day for 30 days.
Wow.
Oftentimes north of the America-Canada border, and out in the snow, shooting under conditions where trying to swap cards and keep things protected would have been really hard to do. And they were shooting under super, sub-freezing conditions, and the product and the camera both worked great together the whole way through. I think my favorite piece of feedback so far has been, he said, I've never worked with a product that I could literally go, without even needing a manual, pull it out of the box, put it on the camera, and hit record, and we were off and running, and it worked flawlessly."
That's great.
Wow, can I quote you on that?
Let me ask you this. So I'm not as surprised that it would perform well in colder temperatures. What about in heat? It seems like hard drives, overheating would be the major issue. I assume that would just be the limitation of whatever SSD is installed, right?
Generally would, yeah. We only support officially the use of the 2 best SSDs in the market that we've worked with thus far. That would be the Samsung 850 Pro and the SanDisk Extreme Pro drives. And we have, the way that the box is designed, has the SSDs appear to stick out about halfway out of the box, which gives a lot of open, fanless cooling surface area. And with a pair of SSD spacers on top of the product, it creates a gap between, or not SSD spacers, no, the SSDs rather, creates a gap between the SSD and the ceiling of the bay that they slide into. So there's room for the heat to roll out that would otherwise be caught or captured inside the product. So the SSDs, even under very hot conditions, really stay very cool and work very well. And we've had reports of it working just fine under direct sunlight and heat as well.
So it's just passive cooling though. There's no need for
no
need for a fan or anything yet.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah, no additional fans that cause any noise on set or pull extra power from your battery. Wow. No need for additional screens to pull extra power from your battery. That's, I think, even more than the issue with, some cameras you can't record raw onto external recorders from. I think the Atomos cameras only have certain cameras that will allow you to do the D&G recording with. This allows you to get that, not only the full raw from internally, proper 4.6K, not like a downscaled 4K, but those big 7-inch screens on those monitor recorders just drain your batteries super fast.
Yeah, they draw a lot. Wow. Hey, speaking of power and speaking of batteries, I met you. So we talked together at NAB, and you were at the Blue Shape booth. Can you tell us first of all, how you got involved with NAB, how you got involved with Blue Shape, and just all about that process?
Yeah. So initially, we had an external system set up for managing our power, and had no power regulation or really voltage safety mechanisms built into the version we made for Kickstarter. And we worked with Blue Shape to make that external power regulation system work. So we sold Blue Shape's external power regulator along with the initial core product for our users. And that was how I started building the relationship with them. And we first went with them to the Government Video Expo in, I think, the end of last year. And we really hit it off. I got to talk with their developers. I got to hang out with their head U.S. guy, John Morgan. Really great guys, really cool products. Those batteries are like
indestructible.
Super primo. They really are. Yeah, it's crazy watching those guys toss them around convention centers and
submerge them in tanks of water and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And I did a little video editing for them as well, putting together their testimonial videos, and I got to see a bunch of footage of them running over them with industrial trucks and it not causing any issues. So I was really wowed. I totally drank the Kool-Aid on their batteries. They have really, really good stuff. So I was super happy to be, a booth guest of such a high quality product that really does do what it claims to do, and they're not out there trying to sort of brand their way into the market or pull the wool over anyone's eyes. They really do make a pretty indestructible product.
That's awesome. So
I
think the thing that's interesting is that the way you're approaching the business is you seem to be very open to collaboration, and you're all about, that seems to be the way that you're winning. Is there any other collaborations or things? Do you see yourself with this concept expanding and going, hey, what other cameras have roadblocks to memory or to other issues in filmmaking? Is this sort of like a one-time thing, or are you thinking now like, wow, what are the other bridges I can gap, or the other gaps I can bridge? Is how you would say it, I guess.
Well, definitely, yeah. The bridges the gap. I like that.
You don't want to gap a bridge.
Yeah, I think
you never want to gap a bridge.
No, definitely not trying to gap any bridges. Yeah, I think that as I see more gaps to bridge with various interfaces or issues that can be resolved with pieces of ergonomic equipment and stuff, the physical design of something that might make a camera more usable. Now that we've been through this process once completely from the ground up on product development, I don't see any reason why I wouldn't just tackle that right away and make that available. Now that we've got, as this thing's expanded, I have a product manager, I have a legal team, I've got, manufacturing, small manufacturing facility here in the Midwest. Basically, this thing is managed to a point where as I have more ideas or see more issues, I could either develop an additional product myself or even contract an engineer with a real engineering degree to actually make future solutions. I definitely see this as a thing that Stommel House is going to continue doing, but as sort of secondary to the filmmaking thing that we do.
Yeah, I wanted to...
And speaking on the...
Go ahead.
I did want to say, speaking on the collaborative process and sort of the business mindset behind this, you were asking earlier, when you had the idea, you just reach out to China and say, hey, can you guys make this for me or whatever. We've actually so far managed to not have to outsource any of our products overseas at all. Right now, the product supports, I think, 5 different U.S.-based businesses that are sort of around the country. So we have custom-made components from different areas that are all shipped here internally, and then final assembly and all QC is done in-house. And all of our final QC is done on an Ursa Mini. So people basically, as close as we can, make it as possible from going right off of our camera and onto theirs. So we know it's going to work when they pull it out of the box.
Nice.
What you're saying is you're using all U.S. companies and you're making the world a better place.
America.
Yeah. No, what I really wanted to know is you keep mentioning Stommel House, and I want to know how you got started in this business. What is Stommel House? What do you guys do? What are the type of projects you're involved in?
So we are so far an independent filmmaking entity. We did, I came from the world of commercial photography, and my wife Evelyn is a screenwriter, and so she's got all these amazing stories and things built up from her process and obsession with film and all of her explorative writing. And I came from, like I said, commercial photography. I was doing product imaging and things for e-com, doing some editorial and lifestyle photography stuff for different companies. And when I got my hands on the 5D Mark III, I actually had access to, high quality video in my DSLR that I needed for work anyway. And once I started exploring film, I was just like, oh, this is way more fun. I got to do this all the time. So I just sort of naturally dumped all of my time and resources into expanding my filmmaking capabilities. And I think realistically, once the Magic Lantern hack became, quasi-stable for shooting raw video, having access to that kind of deep, rich colors, super sharp cinematic quality footage out of a tool I already had access to, that's the point at which I said, I'm making a career move. I definitely got to make this what I do.
Yeah.
So since then, we've shot a lot of short films, then a couple of small, commercial gigs, and we have recently shot our first feature film called What Happened in Danville. We worked with a director and a writer here in Indianapolis. Evelyn was the script supervisor. Stommel House was the executive producing entity, and I was the cinematographer for it. So We're in post-production on that now, and we're very, very proud of it.
Did you use your own product on the shoot?
We actually didn't. There's one scene in the movie. There's one shot in the movie that we shot on an Ursa Mini because most of the movie was shot prior to the Ursa Mini being released.
Ah, okay.
And then Ursa Mini was released about 2 weeks before we wrapped all shooting. And so we did get to shoot one scene with the product, with the Ursa Mini, but the vast majority of it was actually shot in Cinema DNG RAW using the Magic Lantern hack and a 5D3.
Very cool.
Nice.
Interesting.
Well, that sounds great, phenomenal. You're doing all sorts of stuff. It's pretty interesting to hear. I love the entrepreneurial spirit. I love that you saw a opportunity and provided a solution. Mm-hmm. I'm excited. I have a hunch that you have other things that you're dreaming up, and I feel like we've only heard the first from Stammelhaus, both from the film side and from the entrepreneurial product side. Anything, any teasers? You got any nuggets for the listeners that are just clawing for the next thing? Any solutions vaguely that you are trying to solve?
Yeah, I would definitely say keep an eye out for the Ursa Mini users out there, 4K and 4.6K. Definitely keep an eye out for a few more add-on features that are going to make the integration with the Attic C2S much more fluid and seamless, as well as possibly just make the camera more user-friendly for even those who do prefer to stick with CFast cards, because at the end of the day, it's all about what you're comfortable using, and I want to make sure people are able to use their equipment to the best of their abilities to make good work.
Nice.
Because I'm sure we all have plenty of excuses as to why we haven't started making our masterpiece, and I want to eliminate those excuses and get people out shooting as quickly as possible.
Removing barriers.
That's awesome.
Clifton Stammel.
Well, that's great, man.
Speaking of content, obviously you listen to the show. We like to ask a few questions. What are you watching? What are you personally enjoying right now? Yeah.
Oh, man. So we are sitting on the edge of our seat waiting for the next Shane Carruth film to come out, I'm sure. I don't know if you guys have seen Primer or Upstream Color, but
absolutely.
We're totally into his style, and we cannot wait until The Modern Ocean is completed and comes out. We're heartbroken that Utopia area was never made. Keep an eye out for any Tarsem Singh films that come out. We really try to sit down and watch feature films as much as possible, because that's really where our passion lies and where we want to be working. So we try not to get caught up too much in television shows. But admittedly, as millennials, we do watch some cartoons. So there's plenty of Adventure Time and Steven Universe in our lives. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome, cool. Man.
Is that the new Shane Carruth? That's the one where I think I was reading about. He got a huge budget and he's not shooting it himself. And is that true? Do you know that?
Yeah, he's got like an all-star cast. He's got I think Keanu Reeves and a bunch of people are in it.
Yeah, kind of stepping aside from the does it all, genius behind it, and just taking the director's chair.
That's a dangerous move. His formula so far has worked really well. Really well. And I thought, so you guys like that sort of like intelligent, sort of futuristic thought leadership. So that's the kind of, you like that type of film.
Yeah, for me, a film that makes me think philosophically about myself and the world and human behavior and explores concept and narrative so deeply. That's my absolute favorite thing. And there can be kind of a fine line sometimes between this rich narrative exploration that doesn't hand you anything on a silver platter, doesn't spoon feed you any information. So there's a fine line between that and a pretentious film that sort of turns its nose up at you and says, "Oh, if you don't get it, that's your problem," because it wasn't designed to be understood.
What's your example of a film like that, a pretentious film?
Oh, no.
Yeah,
if I say one... honestly, I had... Oh, man.
See, I'm just going to stay quiet until I say it.
I know you're totally going to spot on this. I think that my first impression of Eraserhead, I'm ducking already, was a negative one, but after spending a little more time with it and thinking more on it, I definitely see what it is getting at and what it's saying, and I definitely have eliminated all of my assumptions about pretension about it. I try not to spend too much time sitting around angrily thinking about movies that made me feel that way, so I don't have one to pull at the top of my head.
No, that's a very political move. Good job.
Yeah.
I think the most pretentious movies are superhero movies.
Oh, shut up.
They're horrible.
No, the superhero conversation. Superhero movies are dessert. It's just dessert for the whole thing. I wouldn't call them pretentious. They're just big and flashy, and they're designed to make you feel good.
Wait, does that mean that you're on my team, Clifton?
Sometimes you just want to dance and groove, and you don't really care what the lyrics are saying.
No. Let's go back to this. Pretentious.
Sometimes you just want to go to a movie theater and enjoy
wait a second.
Some explosions and some blue
let me throw this out there. Pretentious. Attempting to impress by affecting greater importance, talent, culture, etc. than is actually possessed. And I think that's exactly what superhero movies do. They try to say they're great and important, and
no, they don't.
They're horrible.
You're completely wrong on that.
I would argue that if we're going straight textbook definition here, a superhero movie, the big blockbuster blowaway budget movies are literally using access to all of the current highest end technology, flashiest things they can possibly do to make you go, whoa, and totally blow the previous one out of the water. So realistically, if there's anywhere that, pretension belongs, it would be that, but I think that they do successfully impress using the current maximum capabilities of technology. I mean, again, it's pure candy. It's all dessert. There's no nutrients. You don't walk away a stronger person.
So you're jumping on Team Alex, but I'm pretty sure if I remember at the NAB meetup in Vegas, I think your wife was on Team Brandon. I don't think she's a big fan of superheroes.
Oh yeah, no, Evelyn cannot stand superhero movies.
That's what I'm talking
even
about.
For dessert. She doesn't want that at all.
The house is divided.
Stommel house is divided. Oh,
that's fun.
It's beautiful though. It's like the Midwest. You don't get these great big robust green trees and foliage without four seasons. You got to have a little bit of tension. You got to have some of that to push the creative drive and really.
That's what we're doing here at FDB. We're planting trees, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, crazy. All right. Well, last question. Anything that you're excited for? Excited for, not in relation to the Attic C2S or Stommel House, anything outside of that, gear-wise, movie-wise, go for it.
Gear-wise, movie-wise. I am excited. I don't know. Honestly, my head is totally full right now of this big move. I'm going to make this about me after all. Yeah, we're actually Stommel House is relocating to Los Angeles here in about a month or so. So, yeah, we're making the big move. We're sort of the way I've been telling people is, we made a feature film here in the Midwest, and we're feeling pretty good about our skills. So we got to go somewhere we're going to be knocked down really hard, and then we can grow again.
That's a good mindset.
I like it.
Yeah, you know what? We're heading to Mecca.
Well, and that's where you're going to build a lot of relationships for the products, new products, and that's great. We wish you guys nothing but the best. You guys are great people, great to hang with, and I think you're going to do really well no matter where you're at.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Hey.
And you know what you guys are. I mean, not to make this like a big mutually back-patting session, but you guys are absolutely the bomb. And you know that, though.
The atom bomb?
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah.
So we were talking about it before we got you on the line. But are you a member of the Slack group yet?
I'm not, but I'd like to be.
Dude,
yeah.
We got to get you on
there.
We
need to get you on there.
Talk about the Attic and about Ursa Mini and everything.
Well, and I think you're going to you'll be a great resource for all the Blackmagic users, and I think let's definitely get you on there and build the community.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I could talk for days and weeks on end about that camera and raw frame recording and post-processing and all this stuff. I'm a super tech geek.
Perfect.
So I'm all about that.
That's what we need. We got a cinematography section where you're fit right in.
Perfect.
Cool, dude.
Sounds great.
Well, hey, thank you again for stopping by the show. Can you tell people where they can find the Attic C2S and information about Stommel House?
So the Attic C2S is sold either directly at atticc2s.com. Attic is spelled ATOCH. Or if you go to B&H or Adorama and look up Attic or Ursa Mini or CFast SSD, you should find our product pretty quickly.
Excellent.
And
Awesome.
Stommel House is totally German spelling, STOMM, that's N as in Mary twice, ELHAUS, StommelHaus.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Check it out, and if you have any questions, as always, reach out to us at ftbpodcast.com. We will make sure we connect you with any guest that's been on the show, any partner of the show. We will hook you up. That's what we do. So,
Absolutely.
all right, man.
Wonderful. I appreciate you.
Say hey to the lady.
Yep.
Will do.
And have a great transition out to LA, and then we'll have you back on the show and check in once you guys are settled in out west.
Sounds perfect. Thank you so much.
All right, man.
Thanks, Clifton. See ya.
See you.
Awesome.
Good guy.
Great dude.
You know, the thing I love about this show is not necessarily us, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we
don't even like us.
we don't even like us. I mean, you know, but I really enjoy the partners, the brand partners, the guests, the bourbon partners. It's just so much fun to hear what people are into, what they're watching, the projects they're working on, the products they're developing.
I enjoy learning new things.
It's fun, right?
This is stuff that, like, some of this stuff we know nothing about.
Absolutely.
Like with the Cineo lighting and the spectrums and
yeah, we got nothing.
you know, and then, you know, how do they integrate CFast and SSD?
Right.
It just, we don't know that.
And I think
That's why we bring on experts.
And I think so. The thing that I really enjoy is that aspect of it. And then now I'm really excited where this community is going.
It's
when
great.
we launched the Slack group, it was a slow start.
Yeah.
You know,
Like anything, though.
filmmakers are out in the field.
This whole show is a slow start,
Yeah,
dude.
but it's really starting to ramp up, and I think that I see a future where there's a large film community engaged, interacting, networking. I think it could be really cool.
I agree. No, I think there's a lot yet to come.
So, how about you, man? What have you been doing? You were busy last week. You weren't on the show.
No,
you were
I know.
working.
I was shooting Halloween decorations.
Yeah, have you recovered from that?
Oh, fully.
So
100%.
how'd it go? What'd you guys?
It was good.
Just give us a quick overview. You got a bunch of decorations. We talked about this a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're
Did
shooting
we?
on what camera, what lights? You kind of hinted at it a couple shows ago.
Oh, gotcha. So we're shooting on the Sony FS7.
Right.
We had 4 different sets. They were all completely art directed by a different art director with different products from Grandin Road. Excuse me. They make different seasonal decorations. This was Halloween.
Cool.
And so we did a combination of lockdown on sticks and Steadicam work throughout all 4 sets to create a kind of surreal, dreamy year-end video.
So the ultimate end? Will anyone see this, or is it internal?
Yeah, no, this will be out on the web. It'll also be at a pop-up booth in New York City, and front
Cool.
of like a fashion store or whatever. They're trying to do
Like
a
a
little
buyer?
higher end. No, I mean it's for the general public.
Gotcha.
Yeah, this is to get fans of their products excited for the Halloween season and drive sales.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Who doesn't love zombies and skeletons?
Exactly, and animatronic witches.
Nice.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was 6 long days, 4 in the studio, 2 on location at an old greenhouse that had a beehive they had to have exterminated the week before.
Nice.
Beekeeper said that their exterminator said there were about 60,000 bees.
Oh, they killed him?
I think they killed them.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, they might have relocated them, but
Were
I
they
don't think
honeybees?
so. Yeah,
Oh, man.
Oh, about honey. They were bees.
Oh, they were honeybees probably.
Yeah,
They're going extinct.
I know.
And we just killed 60,000.
Yep, for some mindless
Oh,
consumerism.
jeez. Can we not relocate them?
It's fine. I mean, next
Sorry,
year they're
this
gonna,
hurts.
mow
This
down
hurts.
a whole herd of elephants. for it.
Last year at the zoo, I saved 3 bees. I rescued 3.
Oh yeah.
They were inside the snack tent or whatever, the place where you eat, and they were stuck, and I captured them and released them outside.
Good for you.
Sorry.
Yeah, I had no say in the extermination. I was just there to shoot it.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's a sad day.
Genocide.
You know,
Anyways.
60,000 bees
God.
took their queen.
Wow.
It's bad.
It sounds bad.
Anyway.
Sounds like a horror Halloween
Yes.
film.
So anyway, we did that the weekend before that. Did we talk about the music video with Brad?
No, I know you were going up to shoot one with
Yeah, I
him.
went up to Columbus. We went to Ohio HD's new studio up there.
They're a rental house.
Scott Handel. Yeah, Scott Handel runs Ohio HD that just built a brand new white cyc stage.
And if you're in the
Columbus.
Midwest, or actually they ship almost anywhere, right?
They ship everywhere.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a solution for camera rental or grip or any of that stuff, do they do grip or just camera?
They do a little bit of everything, and they're expanding their inventory. So
you can reach out and connect with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Like anything, reach out to us. We'll
Have they been on the show yet?
They haven't, and we need to get them on.
Seems like they should be on the show.
Scott would be good. So we used a Red Dragon for that, and an old Ingenue 25 to 250 mil zoom lens.
Ooh, vintage.
Yeah. So we had a Micro Force zoom controller on it, and it was all practical zooms in and out as these model teens are like making out and posing all sultry and everything.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Underage sex on the screen.
I mean, everyone's of age.
Getting it on.
But anyway, it was all colored backdrops. We used these Mole Richardson LED space lights and gelled them purple, blue, and then toned them way down to make gray. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, dude. What have you been up to?
Well, as me and Adam talked, we're finishing up the post-production on the commercials for the University of Cincinnati.
Yeah. Going well?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And
when can people see those? I've had a bunch of people ask.
July.
Okay.
July 27th, I think they're going to be regionally in the Midwest during the Olympics.
Nice.
And then I assume in the fall, when football season starts, that's when they'll hit nationally.
Wow. So a month.
Something like that.
And then you'll throw them up on Vimeo and we'll share it everywhere.
Yeah, I would think. So those are cool. And then, just doing some housekeeping stuff with the company and the brand and getting Leap Frame, up to par where it needs to be. So it's been a couple years since we've done any branding updating. So we've got some new releases on the brand and the website that should be coming shortly for leapframe.com, which should be a lot of fun.
Has Kyle been helping with that?
Oh yeah, he's a beast. He's a design beast, and so that's been pretty cool. And then I've actually had a couple requests on the drone side of things. So
really?
So I have my new 3DR drone, which has a new update that does some really cool stuff, some functions.
Have you used it on a paid project?
I have not done it. I haven't even flown it. I flew it once.
Wow, just a test.
So I have to. I was going to take it out today, but the winds are too high. So I got to get up to speed, but I got a couple clients who want to do architectural firms that want me to do it for a couple things.
Flybys, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like my bread and butter, but we've got it, so you
can make money off it. Why not?
Yeah, so
that's what it's all about.
So that's interesting, and that's really about it, man.
Kill Game.
Where is Kill Game?
I'm heading out to Indianapolis tomorrow, for Eastern Indiana, to meet with our colorist. We're gonna lock down a look.
Okay.
Send you some stuff to review.
All right.
And then set him off on his own to kind of match and tweak throughout the thing.
Gotcha. All right. So it's in color.
It's in color.
Okay. And then there's the big sound element.
There's the huge sound element.
Which hopefully Adam...
We need a sound to go with our image.
Yeah. Hopefully Adam
sound
and
images.
Bart are going to tackle that. Adam said he would. I'm not going to hold him to it on air. I'm not going to call him out on air right now.
I might.
And say that Adam Plyman at Sound Images said he would take care of our sound. I would never do that.
No, never.
But, if it happens...
I did hear that he said he would.
If it happens, then so be it. So...
Hey, Siri, call Adam Plyman.
He's on vacation.
Calling Adam Plyman.
He's on vacation. he's at the beach somewhere. He's doing something with his family. And now all of a sudden he's got a missed call from you.
Hey, it's just a little reminder, just a little poke.
Well, I've got some exciting news, something I'm excited about.
Really?
I want to share.
Go ahead.
Next month, we have an
is July.
Awesome bourbon partner.
Yep.
Bullet Bourbon.
Frontier whiskey.
Frontier whiskey, rye whiskey, 10-year whiskey, cask strength whiskey, and I believe they might even be coming into the studio.
What?
So that's awesome.
Are they going to ride in on a buffalo?
Maybe. The other thing that I'm really excited about is FDB Podcast. We'd say that we're live.
To tape.
Because we don't edit the show.
No.
But it's always been live to tape.
Yeah. We've teased out a few things.
We've looked into streaming video.
Looked into sending our video off to be edited and re-uploaded.
I mean, the amount of time involved with video is just, Most of our listeners, especially in the Slack group, have said, don't bother. I listen to it. It's a podcast.
Well, they're like, I'm in my car. I don't want to be listening or watching a video.
Absolutely.
So what's the teaser? We talked about it, but
yeah.
Go ahead.
So here's the deal. We realized that through the internets, we can
Magic
now
of modern technology.
Stream the podcast taping live.
The audio portion.
Audio podcast. If you like the podcast, but you don't want to wait and you actually want to experience it as it's being recorded. Mm-hmm. So you like the element of live where you don't know what's going to, happen, right? Not
you
that
can't skip forward.
Yeah.
You listen to it as it happens.
Then you're going to be able to listen to the live taping of Filmmakers drinking bourbon.
And you know the added benefit?
The added benefit, I do know.
Is if you're part of our Slack community.
Absolutely.
You can communicate live with us as we tape the episode.
Absolutely.
So the conversation could shift
Absolutely.
whichever way it needs to go based on your feedback.
We think that that's really awesome, and we're excited about that. So as our Slack community grows, those who are on the Slack group can tune into the live stream, interact. We'll be reading the interactions as we're taping. We'll be looking at them on our phones.
I'm going to bring in my iPad so it's bigger.
Absolutely. And we're going to be shouting out to people all throughout the podcast.
I think it's going to be a cool new departure.
If we have guests on the show like Stammelhouse, somebody on Slack can chime in with a question.
Yeah. Hey,
and say,
you guys got questions for Clifton?
Yeah.
Boom.
Hey, Clifton, blank, blank. And then we'll relay it to our guest, and it's going to be awesome.
That's going to be really cool.
So
I'm excited about that.
Live.
I'm super excited about that.
So,
Bart, are you excited? Thumbs up. He's excited.
The other thing we're going to try to do is we're going to try to get a feed patch on the talkback to the studio.
What does all of that mean? Feed patch on the talkback?
It means that now we'll be able to get Bart on the show. He'll be able to push a button when we talk to him, and he'll be able to chime in just like any radio show.
Well, he's going to be on the show anyway. We gotta have an episode with Bart.
Yeah, there's a Bart episode. But what I'm saying is how awesome is it going to be to have the talkback guy?
Fantastic.
That's a great feature.
As long as he doesn't abuse his newfound power.
Yeah.
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 Anyway.
So
all sorts of cool stuff.
So that's cool. But the last thing before we wrap up today's show is I want to say that everyone listening, you have absolutely 3 days left. 3 days left to enter this month's FDB giveaway, which is brought to you by Whipster. You heard it at the beginning of the show. Every show this month. Whipster is a digital video review platform. It's they have a team account. You can get on there. You can talk about projects with your clients. You can talk about it with your team.
Yes.
And so me and you as a team can have a conversation about a change that the client doesn't see. It's private. Great tool. We use it all the time at Leap.
They're integrated with Vimeo. They're integrated with Premiere Pro.
Absolutely. We use it
easy.
all the time at LeapFrame. It's our vendor that we choose to use, and we really love it. We love the team there. They're all from New Zealand. Great, fun-loving people. Their customer support, amazing.
Yes. And if you haven't, go back and listen to the episodes so you can find out all about it.
Absolutely.
We had Rollo on. He laid it all down.
Yes. And
awesome
so
product.
This month, they are giving away a team account worth around $500.
That's crazy. Yeah.
It's awesome. You'll fall in love with it. And all you have to do are 3 things.
What do you have to do?
You have to get on the Twitter.
Yeah.
As they call it.
And mention.
And you need to say, hey, at Whipsters, WIPTSTERS.
Whip.
Sorry. WIPSTERS.
Whipsters. Plural.
Hey, at Whipsters and at FDB Podcast.
That's us.
Say whatever you want. We love you guys. You're awesome. Can't wait to, hopefully I win. Love the show, whatever you want to say. And then include the hashtag FDB giveaway. FDB giveaway. Do those 3 things.
Yeah.
And you will be entered to win this month's giveaway of the Whipster team account. And
we'll put your name in a hat.
Yeah.
We'll draw it live on Instagram.
It's going to be rad.
Post it to that and Twitter.
And they might even I'm not promising this. I can't do this, but they might even be able to include some of their cool t-shirts.
Their t-shirts are great.
They say like
video is eating the world.
Video is eating the world.
Yeah, speaking of that, so if you follow Clifton on Instagram, he has a photo of, I think they're getting ready for a wedding or something. He's wearing the Whipster t-shirt.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So anyway, there it is. You got 3 days left. We will announce the winner on Twitter and Instagram. We'll film the drawing. You'll see it happen.
That way you know we're not lying.
Yeah. And so enter to win. It's going to be great. And join the Slack group. This has been a great show.
Has been.
Excited about
show.
what Stalmahouse is doing for all the Blackmagic users.
And just the world in general. Just being a good guy.
In general, yeah. So I think that's it. That's all I got.
I think that's all I got, too.
All right.
I'm all out of bourbon, so.
Exactly. Well, it's been a great month of June.
Has
It's been a lot of fun.
3 days left.
We look forward to July and what it has to offer. It has Bullet Bourbon to offer. Some other great guests. I
don't think our listeners know how stacked the rest of the year is.
Yeah,
for
it's great.
George.
We got to announce this. This is the last thing.
What?
The month of July is going to be brought to you by Benro Camera Support. Benro Tripods.
Tripods and, yep.
And I can't give it away yet, but there's going to be an amazing giveaway.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
They're going to be on the show. Stoked.
We met with them at NAB. They were part of our
Super
on-the-floor
excited.
interviews. Go
Super
check them
excited.
out.
So, great guest on July, and we're going to have some great people on the show. If we can work it out,
You don't even know.
if we can work it out, I might try to get my neighbor JP on the show.
Does he have any interest in filmmaking?
Yes. My neighbor JP is amazing, for one. For two, he loves movies.
Okay.
So when comes to movie talk, he is unbelievable.
Really?
He is on course right now to watch 100 movies this year. He is ahead of schedule. He watched his 50th movie yesterday. He is a very talented painter, handyman. He works at a hospital where he does remodeling and all that sort of stuff.
Artistic painter or
Yes.
like painting walls for
like he's a contractor extraordinaire.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
He works at a hospital. He does all this amazing stuff.
Cool.
But at lunchtime, it's a sacred time for JP.
he watches movies?
At lunchtime, he watches films. And he's watched over 50 films already this year.
Who has a 2-hour lunch break?
You have no clue what this guy is going to bring to the show. JP, neighbor J, he might be a recurring character. The neighbor JP. I'm just telling you right now, listeners, you are in for a treat when you meet JP. It's going to be amazing.
I envision Home Improvement and
you
peeking
have
over the
no
fence.
clue. Exactly. You have no clue how amazing he is.
What was that guy's name?
So I forget.
Home Improvement.
Yeah. I forget.
Wilson?
Wilson.
Yeah, that's what it was.
JP is going to change your life. He's going to be on the show. Hopefully it happens in July.
Oh, that's great.
And it'll be a show packed full of film talk. He knows film. For a connoisseur, he knows it better than anybody.
He's got to bring in a list. We got to publish his list of films that he's
Oh, he's unbelievable.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
So you're going to love him. So anyway.
I know.
That's it. That's it here at FTB Podcast. Check us out online at FTB Podcast, Twitter, Instagram, and at FTBpodcast.com.
Yes, sir.
All right. We will see you later, and look for the live stream. It's coming.
Can't wait. Anyway,
cheers.
Hit up the site and join the Slack group. Do it.
Slack.
Cheers.
Cheers. This podcast was recorded live at Sound Images Studio. Find out more at soundimages.com.